Welcome to another episode of Discussions with the Social Worker. Our guest speaker and fellow social worker is Helene Vasquez, who is a social work career coach, the owner of Your Evolved Mind, a LinkedIn guru, and the creator of the Social Work Graduate Academy. You can learn more about Helene and her bio posted on the Social Worker Instagram account. Please reference the links in the description below for information on the Social Work Graduate Academy and how to connect with Helene. A few things to note. Since recording, Helene has passed her LMSW exam and the SGA inaugural course has launched. Congratulations, Helene. Hey y'all, it's Sarah, the social worker, and today I have Helene Vasquez, who's an MSW, and she's going to be sharing with us some professional development tips and also talking about her business, Your Evolved Mind. Thank you so much for being here, Helene. How are you?
Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to talk to my fellow social workers all about business, career aspects, and just really have some fun while doing it.
Yes, definitely. Something that we don't really hear very often is like social work and business. So how did you merge the two together, and how did you find your entrepreneurial spirit?
I get asked that question all the time, and it's so funny because the people that know me on a personal level, I'm literally like a natural career cheerleader. Like I am that family member that in every specific event, I'm always talking about goals, about school, or just in general about setting goals. I'm just like, it's part of my personality, and for a long time, I guess you would say that I was always doing career coaching just for free. Obviously, constantly, besides family and friends, I did it among my fellow social workers, my colleagues, and basically about a year ago, what I did was I first started with just resume, writing services, just in general. I wanted to create a platform, which I started on Instagram, and just really sharing value, not really thinking all about this like coaching aspect. But the moment that I started sharing value, the moment people started realizing that I was a social worker, and then I started like targeting, I guess, social worker just because, it was all relatable, it then led me into the coaching world, meaning I then hired business coaches to show me all the marketing tools and all the aspects. And of course, then I jumped up on LinkedIn, which we'll talk about that later. But it's pretty much like how everything just started. And I know not everyone's going to have a niche, or not everyone's going to have a specific like area in regards to starting a business. But I always say is really start with your strengths. Really identify like, what are you known for? Like when people around you, like whether it's, let's say, I don't know, filming or anything, I don't know, editing, marketing, anything, pretty much. It doesn't have to be coaching, but just really go along the lines of ask people around you, like, what are you known for? And just go with that, like just pretty much do it.
Definitely. And you said something really important. You said that you found business coaches and had them help you with your marketing strategy, which means like you're investing in yourself, which I think is so important. And sometimes I think like even myself, I'm like, oh, well, I want to do this. But then if you don't take the time to learn from other people, you're kind of get stuck and you won't be able to grow. Do you see that a lot? Like when you're teaching clients and stuff, trying to teach them the importance of investing in themselves?
Absolutely. I mean, it's, within the social work field, obviously, we already have so much noise within this field. So like social workers don't make a lot of money. We already have all this debt and blah, blah, blah. And the list goes on. Yes, that is so true. But investing is, we spend, yes, $1,000 in our, getting our MSW, but why not? It's basically like professional development should be ongoing. Same thing how you invest to get, your, continuing education credits after your licensure is the same concept, right? So you really have to view it in the aspect that what I am investing is going, the return of investment is going to be, example, in my specific area of expertise is, I help my clients enhance their confidence level. I really teach them all the tools they need to feel confident within, imposter syndrome, all those limiting beliefs, which is you're not taught in school, right? So it's all, I go a level deeper besides, all that marketing tools on LinkedIn and job search strategy is really like a life-changing transformation, to be honest. So sometimes like, I do get out of social workers they're like, no, I'm not able to invest in myself. Obviously, like, not everyone is gonna take that risk, and that's okay. But sometimes it's just to develop it's all about timing at the end of the day. Somebody could say no today and, say yes next month.
Exactly. Exactly. And you're speaking like so much truth already. I'm excited to see what the rest of this interview holds. But so we kind of talked about business, but what led you to social work? Like what inside of you said, that career field sounds good and I'd be a good fit in it?
Well, definitely being a woman of color and minority, I would say due to my upbringing, I was raised by a single mother, and I grew up in low income. So all of those factors really influenced my decision to be part of the helping profession. At one point, I thought I wanted to be a doctor, but then I was like, nope, not doing that. But I always knew that I wanted to help others. Therefore, I got my bachelor's in psychology. Back then, I wish that I would have known that they had, BSW, but, things happen. But I always knew that I wanted to help others. I was fascinated, with the brain and how, people develop over time. Obviously, as you can see, my business name, Your Evolved Mind, which we'll get into it shortly. But it's really important to, give yourself that level of awareness, as we are always, learning and growing within, and we need to learn how to embrace all of those challenges as lessons. So all my upbringing, I knew that I wanted, to give back, to help others, right? And, I've been in the field of social work for 8 years, and I worked in numerous settings. I mean, foster care, within the shelter system, within substance abuse population, homeless population, palliative care. I mean, all ages at this point, right? At this time, I'm currently a social work supervisor, so I do have my staff members are a mix of social work interns and social workers who provide services to children between, ages of 3 to 21 with complex trauma, medical health diagnosis, everything pretty much. But my true passion is helping my fellow social workers, right? Aspiring social workers, seasoned social workers, even those social workers that have been in the field 15 plus, right? Everyone has something to offer, and I pretty much offer a different perspective.
And I think that's awesome. And I think that your family would be so proud of you for how far you've come, and you're continuing to inspire me and so many other people, and to just pursue your dreams, which is very scary and hard, but you have made some good points. And I think, like, if you're willing to make that take that risk or make that investment in yourself, then you can find the time to really expand your horizons.
Absolutely. It's not a one-stop, like, okay, I'm going to teach. And it could be, I'm speaking in the aspect of career coaching, but this could be the same concept with another area. If you wanted to go after a specific, like, you wanted to be trained in a specific evidence-based approach. I'm going to give an example. And you're like, oh, that's more money. But you also have to look at the, the outcome. If me being trained in this specific modality, what doors is going to open? How can I enhance my learning? So going back to bringing that level of awareness to another level, like, how can I improve myself even more? School is all textbook based.
All textbooks, you got to learn, get some street smarts in there too. So being out there in the field will really give you a better idea of what will make you more marketable in the future. So definitely. Talking on, investing on yourself and investing in yourself. What are like 3 tips that you would say to somebody who is just trying to either growing a business or being in the social work field just as a professional? What are those 3 tips that you have for somebody going through a similar journey like yourself?
Well, the 3 tips I'm going to say really go hand on hand with starting your own business and, getting a job within the social work field, whether you're a brand new graduate or whether you're a seasoned social worker. The first one is to network your life away. This is where LinkedIn really goes more in depth, because LinkedIn, it's people have this idea that LinkedIn is just a professional platform and that, you know, you have to be all suit and tie and just kind of have to watch what you say. Like, no, LinkedIn has changed. People share stories. LinkedIn loves when you know, share things about yourself, of course, to your level of comfort, right? It can be something as simple as, oh, I got certified today. I got my licensure, or I started my own business, or anything like that. Like LinkedIn, like, I have almost, you know, 6,000 connections at this point, and this has been evolving within the last few months because networking, yes, people have things on their plate, but networking should literally be like, you know, part-time or full-time job at this point, because this is the same concept within your business or, you know, getting a new opportunity. The more you network and the more you're able to, you know, have your LinkedIn profile to have all of those keywords and really market yourself effectively, the more you network and engage with others in and outside your industry, the more eyeballs are going to be in on your profile, meaning more opportunities, right? Because of LinkedIn, I have landed, you know, numerous clients and, you know, podcast interview, YouTube interviews. I mean, even like jobs, like recruiters still reach out to me. So it's really dependent of like really going in. So LinkedIn, right? To really put yourself, you know, there. The second tip will be building that solid community within the, you know, entrepreneur space. It's very important to have your little business family, right? I have a few business besties that, you know, we kind of hold each other accountable because no one's going to understand what you're going through, but, you know, people in your circle, right? Your family, your close friends, no one's doing that but you, right? Within the space, because it can be so up and down, right? And then the same thing with people who are looking for jobs, right? You know, there's so many social work groups. LinkedIn has groups as well, not as active as Facebook, but community is everything, right? I already spoke about LinkedIn with that networking piece. The second part is just having your solid community to stay motivated, right? Whether you get yourself a coach or not. And then the last tip is don't be afraid to ask for help, right? Again, whether you hire a coach or consultant, you know, you speak to a previous field advisor or just anyone, right? So LinkedIn marketing, right? And community, as well as don't be afraid to ask for help, and don't be afraid to change things up. There is no rule book as to how you should run your business. There is no rule book as to what type of social work, you know, position you should obtain. Everything is not clinical. Everything is not macro based. It's really depend on what you want to do with your degree. Bam.
Mic drop. That's it. She did it. She explained everything. That was great. That was so great.
Passionate. I could go on all night.
No, that's wonderful. And I enjoyed your passion so much. And I'm excited for you to share something that you're even more passionate about, something that is happening January 4th. Can you share with us what's launching, what's happening next for you?
Yes, yes. So this month, obviously we're in December, enrollment opens for my signature program, my baby. I love this. My signature program, Social Work Graduate Academy, is a 10-week group coaching program designed to help new and seasoned social workers, you know, market themselves effectively on LinkedIn, learn all of LinkedIn pretty much tools, the inside and out, right? Really learning how to network with ideal recruiters, hiring managers, and just attract ideal recruiters to your profile, and really learn how to, you know, enhance your confidence skills, interview like a boss, get clarity on your ideal social work role. I mean, the list goes on. Enrollment opens this month, and we kick off with the new year, January 4th. And for those social workers who are currently in school and thinking, what about when I graduate in the spring? I will be running this program multiple times next year. So for you fellow social workers who will be graduating in the spring or even summer, definitely reach out to me because enrollment will open once again during that time frame. So I'm so excited.
That is so great. And I'm super excited. How can I or anybody else, how can we enroll? Do we reach out to you on LinkedIn? Is there a website? What's the next step?
Absolutely. So you reach out, because I always like to make sure it's an intimate group because, you know, it's a group coaching program. So the best way is either reach out to me on LinkedIn or reach out to me on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn by my name, Helene Vasquez. I'm on Instagram by my business name, Your Evolved Mind. Just message me, we'll get a conversation going just to make sure, the program is a good fit for you. And if it is, then we'll definitely discuss next steps. As simple as that.
That's super simple. And I think it's great that you're keeping it intimate because, when you're trying to make a transition or figure something out, sometimes it could be really intimidating if you're talking to a whole group of people about what's going on. So having you, who's so experienced and so passionate about it, but also having a space where you can do group and one-on-one, I think is so awesome. I think it's so inventive what you have created, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I'm telling you, community is everything. And I understand the gap upon graduating onto the workforce, regardless of what stage you are within your social work career, can be so overwhelming. I mean, we talk about imposter syndrome all the time. Like, that feeling is real. And of course, it never goes away. But, I definitely teach, and I'm pretty sure others do, just tools of how to help you, at least to the best of your ability, overcome those limiting beliefs about yourself.
Definitely.
Hype yourself up.
Yes, be your own hype person. And I think it's easy to get overwhelmed and be like, oh, well, so-and-so has a degree from here, or I didn't have that great of a GPA. So being able to find that confidence in yourself and having a coach and a hype person like you to raise yourself up, I think is so wonderful and so important to invest in. And I think everybody watching should sign up for this course because I'm super excited for it too.
Thank you. Reach out to me, people. You know where to find me.
Yes, and I'll make sure to link all of this in the description below so they'll be able to get to your social media accounts and your LinkedIn account, which is popping, by the way. I'm always liking your stuff that's going on there. So we've talked about Your Evolved Mind. We've kind of just talked about inspirations, being a cheerleader for stuff. But when was that moment that you were like, I can be a business owner, like I can do this, I believe in myself? When was that moment for you?
Well, I'm reminding myself every single day, but I think that moment with me would be at the beginning of this year. Even though I did start last year, I just started seeing more of that disconnect, like I mentioned, from graduation onto the workforce, because I started speaking to even more social workers. I did a lot of market research, even though deep down I knew, but I wanted to just get more in depth as to, at the end of the day, data, right? Really finding out what the biggest problem within the social work, market it had this time. And I think that's when it was like, okay, like this is needed. Like, I am changing lives, and if I don't do this, nobody else is going to do it, right? Not saying, hey, if you're a social worker and you want to be a career coach, go for it, right? At the end of the day, we all have something to offer. But I always say is that, like, I knew I was meant to do this, right? Whether, who knows where this goes, but because even in the last couple of months, I've spoken at different universities within the US, right? Within like, I guess like for field placement or field seminar courses. And I've been like a guest lecturer, and, just trying to provide that knowledge from the beginning, and this, that insight is so important. So pretty much that's when it hit for me.
That's so awesome. And I think it's something like you said in school, like it's not something that's taught, or you said earlier about school, it's not something that's taught to like invest in yourself, to network, to put yourself out there. And I think that the more that people like yourself go to universities and speak about your journey, I think that will make such a big impact on not only how social workers find jobs after graduation, but also how society starts to value us as career people, as an important and integral part of society, because we're placing value on ourselves.
I know it's going to be a process. We all have something to improve, but this is something that's been standing for a very long time. Yes. And, I definitely want to, so I'm part of NASW New York Social Work Board. I'm part of the committee. Mm-hmm. And basically, I always help to, well, going to help really, pick out upcoming leaders within the profession, at least for New York chapter. And it's very important, to start developing that level of awareness for new social workers, to really, learn how to be their own advocate, as well as, obviously be very diverse, inclusive of, everything that they're trying to put out there. So it's something that's not going to happen overnight, but I feel like right now, especially because of this pandemic, social workers are definitely needed now more than ever, and right, and we're pretty much all over the media. So I feel like, unfortunately, we were giving this attention in this way, but I feel like now we can have the platform and the space to continue, owning our voice and being an advocate for, new and upcoming social workers.
Most definitely. And I think too, and definitely you, since you're on LinkedIn, you'll probably have better perspective than some people, but I think social media has really brought a lot of attention to the social work profession. And like our generation has been able to open up online and kind of be like, look at the cool things that you can do with social work. Like, social work is important. Social work is, it could be trendy, but it's something that we can claim and we can own and we can be proud of it. And I think it's changing the conversation that people are having around the profession.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, people are having open-ended discussions, on a professional level, and just, kind of having conversations that some people may not feel comfortable having. I mean, we could definitely go more in depth with that, but I completely agree with social media, and it's just kind of, bringing that visibility and just giving the social work professions of what we could be, right? Everything, it's a ongoing process, and it's very important to, at the end of the day, give each other credit, right? Because, at the end of the day, some people could be more advanced than others in the sense of like, their own values or beliefs. And again, we can go more in depth with that, but it's just, I feel like everyone's at their own stage, and I feel like just a matter of that. Hopefully in the future, everybody will be towards, the same like mission and goal, if that makes sense.
Definitely. No, it does make sense. And I think, and I'm sure every generation goes through this, but I think us as young professionals are stepping into a career that's been around for a while, and a lot of like our supervisors or more senior leadership has one way of doing things, and then we have a lot of different or fresh ideas. So kind of finding that middle ground of like, hey, we're both on the same page here, or we're both on the same side, but how can we continue to go forward into the future? And I don't know if that's something that you've experienced kind of in your field of work, and especially now being a professional coach.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, like I said, it really comes down to timing. Some people are, more open-minded than others, and some are not. I mean, it's really about just going back to giving, as a new young social worker, giving yourself that validation of what you have to contribute to, the social work field. Obviously, still understanding that, yes, one person can't change everything, but just never giving up, and still, remembering your why. I always say that, remembering your why you got into the field, and really like not letting anyone, stomp down on your shine, right? Because, there can be so many, social workers that have been in the field for a very long time, are burned out, they probably need to retire, and they're like ruining the profession in a way. I mean, hey, no shame to anybody, but just, speaking some truth. And I know it may not be easy and things like that, but it's just about remembering that you're not, like, no one ever's gonna agree with you, right? But just know that you're gonna probably encounter many individuals within this field that they may not agree with you, or they may like put you down, or they may be like, why are you in social work, or why are you here, or this or that, just kind of like that negative Nancy. But just remember, is you are in charge, you're in control, and remember, you can do whatever you want with your degree, and don't listen to negative Nancy.
Don't listen to negative Nancy that's in your mind or around you. Always have positive self-talk. So On that note of positive self-talk, what's your mantra? What is your go-to saying to keep you going when things are not that great?
I do say it's now or never, or you got this. I know it's so basic, but I literally have it on my phone. I have everywhere. I have like, well, I don't have it with me, like mugs, like everything. Like I like to tell myself it's either now or never. Like you're either gonna do this or you're not, right? Or I mean, you got this is when I'm already like doing it, but to kind of put myself out there, it's like it's either now or never. Like you may not have this opportunity ever again. So I'm a big risk taker at times, as you can probably see. But obviously, of course, imposter syndrome, all those things can take over. But it's just about pushing yourself and believing in yourself like you never have before, because no one else is gonna do it for you. Pretty much.
That's very true. My saying is the train is moving, so you either get on it or you're gonna miss your ride. So you got to keep going with it. So who's your inspiration, or what is your inspiration to really continue on as an entrepreneur, to inspire other social workers? Who or what is that one thing that is just that constant source of inspiration for you?
Well, my mother. She is my biggest cheerleader. I mean, I have a great support system, including my boyfriend. He's one of them. But my mom, 100%. I mean, everything that I do is for her. And definitely went through a lot with her when we were younger. So she's my source of motivation for me to continue and pushing myself like never before, so I can give her the life that she never had. So that's my inspiration. Cheer, cheer.
Hi, Mama. I hope you watch this. I hope you are so proud of your
my beautiful daughter. She'll start commenting.
Yes. Well, we're proud of your daughter too. Thank you for sharing her with us. And kind of before we wrap up, what advice do you have for somebody who is like, I don't know if I want to do social work. It sounds kind of cool, but like, I've heard all this stuff on the media that makes it not sound so cool. What would you say to either your young self getting ready to enter social work degree program, or to just somebody watching that's kind of on the fence?
Well, do your research. I'm going to go back to LinkedIn and networking, because, hey, you could be on LinkedIn as early as high school. So really network and talk with other social workers, or other, people in your area that, whether they have done like, oh, this sounds interesting. Really do your research, because no one's going to be more real than people who have been right where you are. So there's so much noise within this field. And of course, you may network and you may get that negative Nancy. But remember, that's just one person, right? And at the end of the day, I mean, maybe that person won't even give you time of day. But it's very important to network, do your research, and block out all the noise and really write down what you love about the profession, why you want to be, a social worker. What does social work mean for you? Obviously, a little bit more of creating that entry statement right into graduate school. But most of the questions that, to get into graduate school, they're going to ask you why social work, right? Or why did social work pick you, or anything like that. So really taking the time to reflect, like, is this for me, right? Remembering also, like I mentioned before, that social work is not only clinical practice. You can go more macro, and you can really, again, what I love about being a social worker, having your MSW degree, is that you can do so much. You can do so much. It's really the way of how you want to approach it. Don't let school really put you in one box, because they really do, unfortunately, right? Sometimes you have to go with like, okay, what route am I going to pick? Community, research, like clinical. So if you end up having to go towards one route, don't think that it's going to be like your end goal. I did clinical, and I don't want to do therapy or anything like that. So it's really important to, if you pick one area, remember, you're not going to like stay stuck to it, because it's still going to be your degree at the end of the day.
Yeah, social work is so fluid. You can go anywhere, do anything with it. And I think with you and being in the business space, being an entrepreneur, having those people skills and just understanding like why people have certain reactions to something or why this system is not working. Like having those
to analyze data, how to really critical thinking skills, those are important. Whether you're going to be in the, coaching space or not, these are all things that all of these, I mean, my client was telling me the other day that if you were to describe my coaching style, will be motivational, interviewing, solution focused.
Yeah, then there you go.
So it's pretty much along the lines of like how you want to approach it. And remember, learning to block out the noise as best as you can, because people are going to talk. People are going to say a whole bunch of things, but be your own motivator and be, again, there's no social work handbook besides the code of ethics, but, within your career, pretty much.
Yeah. You just got to be your own cheerleader and create like you said, community is so important. So whether it's online, in person, however you can create that community, make sure that you find those cheerleaders who have common goals with you. And I think that that's something that's helped me get through 2020. And it sounds like it's helped you as well.
Absolutely. I love my social work community. So you guys are watching. Thank you for being part of my group.
Yeah.
My network.
Yes. And so I know that SGA is coming up. That's super big. But what's next? What do you see happening in the next year? Can you tell?
Podcast coming soon. I'm still debating the name, but 2020, absolutely. People have been asking for it, so it's gonna happen. So stay tuned. I'm also gonna be starting off my email list. So email list and podcast gonna be fire. So 2021, that's what's coming.
Yes, that's great. Well, 2021, it sounds like 2020, a lot of good has come from this year for you. And that makes me so happy to hear. I love hearing feel-good stories and hearing stories of success and inspiration. And you are both those things. And I'm so proud of you. And I think 2021 is going to be even better than this year. And all of your business ventures will come true. Before we say goodbye, what is one thing, if anything, that listeners and viewers should take away from today?
Don't be afraid to network. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Learn to block out all the noise within the social work field. Remember that you're in control and that nobody is going to give you any definition of what a social worker should be but yourself. That's the only one that matters. And keep on pushing yourself to the very best.
Yes, that's great. I think you need to have like a motivational yoga class too.
2021, you never know.
Like, I know 2021 for those entrepreneurs,
everything's happening.
Workers that just need that morning, like, yeah, I can do this. You should think about it. You might have to get yoga certified.
I'll look into it. Why not?
Yeah, definitely. But I really appreciate you being here, Helene, and I will link all of the fabulous things that you're doing to the description box below. And for everybody who's watching and listening, whether you are a social worker or just very interested in the social work field, be sure to message and connect with Helene on LinkedIn and Instagram. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you for tuning in to another discussion with the social worker. Please support our social media platforms and YouTube channel by liking and subscribing. We hope you have a wonderful day and make good choices, and we'll see you next time.